Coming to you live from the Broken Oak, this is Optimal Play. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is... already off the rails. Chapter 6. The story portion of our Oathsworn playthrough.
That's right.
How are you doing, Jordan?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if you remember this. You promised in our last Oathsworn video that we would, because it had been so long between chapters, that we would get to chapter 6 before the US election. And here we are, just barely doing it.
That's amazing. Yeah. I did not remember that I promised that, but that's great. Yeah.
You did. I mean, I don't know if promise is the right word.
Sure.
I think what you said is, but definitely before the election.
Okay, well, that's great. We did it. We're amazing.
We are.
And you know what? I have to say, actually, that you deserve the congratulations here because you've been incredibly busy. It's you've been keeping this for me. I've been texting you week after week.
I am the one who's been. Is that right? No, I'm just joking. Week after week. Speaking of the election, though, I've been saying at the end some, but I thought I'd say up front because it is days away. I'm talking about the U.S. presidential and other elections.
Yeah.
That you should vote if you haven't. Have you voted?
I've not voted yet.
I should have worn my sticker. Maybe over the Dear Evan Hansen. That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. No, I haven't voted yet. In fact, I thought early voting, because I didn't get a mail-in ballot because I moved recently. So early voting starts on Sunday, I believe. So I'm planning to vote on Sunday.
I did not know that there is in-person early voting in
There
California.
is.
I just always have either been day of or by mail.
Yeah. I just didn't want to go on Tuesday because I feel like it's going to be annoying. So
wise choice. Sunday. Yeah.
But yeah, vote. But and
please vote. Yeah, I think
especially if you're like in Pennsylvania or like Arizona or one of those states that matter for the U.S. election.
I think in my lifetime, and I'm obviously very young. I haven't seen very many elections, but this is like both the most consequential and most obvious, I think, presidential election choice I've seen in my adult life.
And somehow still, like, perhaps the closest, barring maybe Bush v. Gore in 2000, maybe.
We will see. But yes, please don't waste your opportunity to cast your vote.
Yeah.
All right.
If you have relatives in one of those swing states also, or friends, reach out.
It's good. Yeah. I was going to say it's a good call. Call them. But
call them. Gonna have pause and call them right now. It's more important than this.
You know what else is important?
This.
I was going to say liking the video.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
And also, the next part of our Oathsworn story. It's been another 6 weeks or so. Can you remind us what happened last time? As I throw you under the bus
I
here?
really can't. Is that terrible? I know, so we're in the city of Vroom.
Yeah.
I can tell that because it says so right here on the map.
It does.
Right here. And that's all I can tell you. I remember what we fought. We fought the bug thing.
Yeah, it was a bloat fly.
A bloat fly with all its little baby
or something.
Flies,
yeah. I remember us investigating. I don't remember if it was an illness or no. That was the rats, I think.
That's that's chapter 1.
Yeah, we had a branching path where we were like in front of kind of like the mayor of the city and could either like do what they want us to do or follow up on something else. And I'm pretty sure we did something else.
Is this the one where the guy came up to us with riddles and we were answering the riddles?
Yes, it was the riddles.
So we answered the riddle man.
Yeah.
And then we fought the bloat fly.
Let us know in the comments what happened previously in our story.
Yeah.
That would help us out.
We gotta play this more frequently. It's tough to keep track of this.
It is. And it's a long campaign.
It's a long campaign.
But we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of it. So maybe we can pick up the pace and not make it to 2 years.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, that's very unlikely because it's 21 chapters and we're on chapter 6.
That's why I said pick up the pace.
Yeah, but
if we
it's
do
gonna be at least another year.
If we do about a chapter a month,
basically
we've almost done it.
We would have to do. Yeah, that's true. We would have to play at literally like 2.5 times the pace we've been playing at.
Yes,
it's a massive increase. Yeah, we'll see. Also, I'd have a lot to paint very quickly.
That's true. Yeah. That is a limiting factor. The woods close in around you as you feel the first tremors deep inside you. You thought you'd purged the eggs, but you were wrong. Your skin ripples, the bloatfly maggots burrowing up from beneath. You shudder, the shadow of night terrors chasing you awake. With the feeling of things boring out from your chest still fresh in your mind, you brace yourselves for the real world and head down to the tap room of the Broken Oak. So it starts with a little dream sequence there.
Nice. Nightmare sequence.
Correct. We're already ahead of the game. The first instruction says to place the Vroom map from Mystery Envelope B in the center of the play area and place the Chapter 6A time track beneath it. Place the free company marker on location 7. Take the Path A card.
I don't know how much much we need that.
Path A. It's pretty tough to forget which path you're on, I feel like. But there it is. For the record.
And the app does it for you, I think.
There's a button. Oh, true. When you're using the app, yeah, you're not going to lose track of your path. It asks, do we have Harlbeck as an ally?
And I got our allies out, but we do not.
Okay, I'm going to press the button that says otherwise.
Yeah, because I don't think we have them.
A knock comes from the tavern door. Don't we have people for this? Grey Cane chides as he wipes his hands and goes to answer. He looks over to you as he crosses the room. Next time you choose to bring another stray back, can you pick one who looks like they know how to turn a handle? You cannot see who's at the door, but after a brief exchange, Grey Cane turns back into the room, a scroll in hand. Breaking the seal and unraveling it, Grey Cane reads and looks up with a smile. Best get your boots on. You have an appointment with the king. Now it asks, do we have Lady Ilana as an ally?
And we do.
I thought we did.
Yes, here she is.
I heard what Grey Cane said. Are you really going to see the king? Lady Ilana says, coming up beside you, her body close enough for you to smell her scent. After the Deepwood, you gave lodging to this mysterious woman, a ward from a dead house, now without position or possessions. I like that. That's a good phrase.
Yeah,
without position or possessions, yet still clad in the surety and confidence born of nobility. You're not sure if it is her bearing or her beauty, but a lot of alliteration when you're talking about Lady Ilana.
An avalanche of alliteration.
Oh, good one. You're not sure if it is her bearing or her beauty, but she always left others feeling like they should have done more to please her. You nod to her question. I know this is asking a lot, she says sweetly, but I would love to go with you to court. It's very important. We can choose one. Ask her why she wants to go to court, let her accompany us, or deny her request.
I mean, I'd like to know why. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see
I mean, we're not going to say
reason.
no. I don't really care. But
I mean, this is like a video game where you always exhaust all the
Yeah.
options that don't seem like forward progress first.
That's right. That's right.
All right. I must share something with you, she says under her breath, looking up at you. It is indecent conversation, but I must tell you. You see, I was born here in Varoom, and lived here until my parents died. My uncle, a foul man, took control of our estate and would have killed me to secure it. He would have succeeded if not for good friends who spirited me away to Bastogne with nothing but a locket. She motions to the small locket nestled below her neckline. I had been a ward there ever since. My home, however, is here. I need those who knew my family, to speak on my behalf, to help me restore my rightful position and retrieve my estate. I also would not be averse to seeing my uncle exiled to the Deepwood without a knife. But that may come later. For now, will you help me? She moves forward, putting a hand on one of your arms. Will you help me reach the court? Then we have the same two other options, let her accompany or deny.
Yeah, I just want to point out that in the art, her locket is massive.
Oh, it sure is. It's like the size of her face.
Yeah, it's huge.
Okay.
It's really funny.
How did we miss that locket?
Well, yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, I have a small locket.
How is there not a dialogue option 2 chapters ago that's like, what the fuck is with that locket?
Oh, man. Okay, anyway. She can come.
I think she seems trustworthy and nice. And...
I mean, the worst thing that happens is she dies, right? Like,
it's her
own fault, right? Yeah.
She smiles gleefully, clasping her hands together. I'm going to court. I must get ready. She practically twirls as her feet patter quickly upstairs. Well, she's just very forthcoming when she wants something, Bram says suspiciously, drying a mug with a cloth. Isn't she just? Says Grey Cane with a grin as he watches the woman's ascent of the stairs. The table's cleared and you're ready to move on, but Ilana has still not returned. The king waits on no one, you know, Bram says after a time. You get up and about to leave when Ilana appears, a long flowing pearlescent gown clinging to her as she heads down the stairs. Where she obtained such finery is a question for another time, and one few care to ask as they watch her. Grey Cane steps forward, lifts her hand, and kisses it with a flourish. Perhaps for this he would not mind waiting, he smiles. Place location token 14 and go there.
Yes, sir.
Location 14 is the bridge. Sure, why not?
And city event.
Oh, okay. Well then before
Actually, those are in our free company bag here.
Oh really? Is it not though? This must be my discard pile then. It's in the box here. Okay.
Well, there are some events here. I assume it's these.
I don't see why I would have put anything but our current stack of events into the free company bag. So let's go with that.
If Lucky is not part of your company anymore, archive this event card and draw another.
I don't know that we've lost any allies. Any named allies?
And we do. We have Lucky.
Okay.
So, Lucky stumbles over a misplaced stool and crashes into an Ursus sitting at a table deep in his cups. The drunk Ursus whips around in rage, facing off with all of you. A brawl ensues.
Is this a friend of yours?
Lucky?
No, that's Ursus.
Oh. You're saying that you see someone of a different race than you and just assume they all know each other?
Yeah. Don't you know all the bears?
yeah. No. I'm just joking. All right, so a brawl ensues that Lucky somehow manages to escape. Perform an unarmed round of combat against Defense 4.
Unarmed, okay.
Yeah. And it's a round of combat, so we all have to go, and anyone who doesn't get the 4 is in trouble. They take a damage. And then it says, if no one lost any health, word of our prowess.
We can read that later.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's unarmed, which means we're ignoring our might cubes?
I
Is
believe
that what
that's what
unarmed
that
means?
means.
What else could it mean?
That's right. I think that's what it means. Do we have any abilities, though, that will enable us to
that's a great question.
aid in this? No.
And that's not a great answer. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Because,
we've only done one, I think, type of check.
And it's barter, threat, or reason, which this is not an armor.
So we're good at talking.
Yeah.
Not at fighting.
We're quick-witted.
Okay, 4 seems pretty doable, though.
Yeah.
So for the Harbinger, I'm thinking 4 cards?
Sure.
Or is it just 3 cards? No. I don't like a fresh deck. Alright, Harbinger's going to draw 4 cards. We've got 1, blank, blank, 2. Well, that's a pretty bad failure.
Yeah. So you take a damage, unless you want to do a reroll.
I do have a redraw.
So you could hope for drawing a 2.
Yeah, it would need to be a 2 or a crit.
Yeah. Well, I think all the crits are 2s.
But there's also 2s that are not a crit.
Right.
Right. And so it's like a 1 in 3-ish chance.
I think that's oh, well, yeah, we can check the die if the die.
Sure, why not? I'll use the
right.
redraw. Okay. Then we'll redraw a blank. Replace it with a 1. Damn it.
Damn.
That's it. I don't have any more redraws, so that
take
was
the damage.
Not well spent. Damage on the Avi. You go next. Now that I've softened up the deck for you.
Okay. I'll have my Warbear go here.
Okay.
And all right, here we go. I'm gonna take 4 cards as well.
Whoa, 2 blanks on top as you dramatically flip them. Great.
Fun.
Well, you got the crit at least.
I did get the crit, so I should draw that. Well, no, I should roll that. Because if that is a...
you're looking for a die? Oh, there they go. There they are.
Yeah.
That's a blank. Okay.
I don't know how much that matters, actually. I think I will spend a reroll, because I don't want us to all fail at this. But I'm going to reroll the die.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Just barely. All right.
Yeah, okay, success.
Okay, four blanks out. I can't possibly fail with 4 cards on the Ranger now. So, blank 2, crit 2, crit 2. Well, there's all the crits.
Yeah, that is all the crits.
No reason to roll the dice. I succeed on
all right, Ranger. And the priest knows that there are 2 blanks on 5 cards.
No, 1 blank.
1 blank.
I drew 1 on those.
Okay.
That draw.
So I can...
You can safely draw the whole deck if you want.
But that seems kind of unnecessary. I'm going to just draw 3. Because there's going to be... No, I'll draw 4. I'll draw 4.
Yeah, I would draw 4 to guarantee you draw a 2 in there, yeah.
Oops. That's the one I'm not drawing.
Okay, we have 1 card left in the deck. Okay.
That was a little wasteful. Okay.
A hair, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't track well enough to know whether this could have been a 1 and you could have ended up with 3 1s.
Right.
That was
so
fear.
If only one of us lost any health, the Ursus calms after first blood, but is impressed by our fighting. We each gain an Empower token.
Oh, all right.
So here's Empower token.
Used a couple redraws, but gained 4 empowers. That's fine.
Yeah, and only lost 1 health, which is good.
Okay.
All right, this goes out, I assume.
Yes, that will go, I think, into the box here where I have these cards that must be our discards.
Excellent.
All right, take us to the bridge.
I sure will. Okay.
You gotta hit the button.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Under gentle rainfall, you make your way to the bridges separating the city. A throng of people going about their business press in on all sides. Even in this mass, though, you are given room. The armor on your chest and the iron on your back gleam a fearful distance from many. Some of the faces passing are covered in kerchiefs and rags, trying to protect themselves from the rot people speak of coming out of the cobbles. It seems the sickness is spreading fast to strong and weak alike, not like a bloatfly pox at all. It seems the giant fly had not been the cause of this outbreak, but only taking advantage of the rancid remains of the true source had left behind.
So it was a disease. It was also some sort of pestilence or something when we fought the rats, I think. I guess...
It was. But you're right.
We've had a couple.
It must have been.
Turns out, in this world, most cities are dealing with some sort of plague.
Yeah, it's a dark world. America 2025. Something else plagues the people of the cobbles. Judgment! A man in a hooded cloak yells as you approach the bridge to the noble quarter. The rot is our birthright, another shouts. His face covered in runes he has carved into his own flesh, some still as fresh as the blood on his knife. Only the righteous can overcome the flesh. In front of the various doomsayers, a man stands, arms outstretched as if orchestrating the mob. The man looks over his shoulder. He smiles grimly at you. Samil. Perform a spot check, difficulty 5. And spot is not one of the ones that we're good at.
No.
So difficulty 5. I think only one of us has to do this.
Okay. Yeah, does it matter in any way who does it? I guess it's someone who like accepts the benefit and consequence if it comes to that.
Yeah, so maybe not the Avi who's already been damaged, but anyone else's fair game.
Also, someone with a redraw is a good idea.
Yeah, so I'm happy to have the priest do it, or the ranger, whatever you prefer.
How many cards do you want to draw?
I
got one
draw...
and then a fresh deck.
Well, I'm wondering, are you allowed to use some power tokens on this? No, right? Only in combat.
I don't know for a fact, but it doesn't feel right to me to use some power tokens
I agree.
on this stuff.
I think I should probably draw 5 cards.
Okay. Oh.
Actually, I wonder if I should just draw 4. Because I know this is not a blank.
True. You're looking for 5 total? Yeah. I think we know it's not a blank and we also know it's not a crit.
Yeah. So maybe I'll draw 4 more. I'll stick with the 5 I said. There should be an odds chart.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to just look at a die. This is your odds chart, I guess. But
no, yeah. I mean, like what percentage chance you have of hitting X result on Y dice type thing.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be kind of nice. I've seen a couple games that do that.
Yeah. John Company.
4 more cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was a blank.
What? Oh, yeah, because we thought there was 1 blank left and you didn't draw one. Yeah. Okay, 2 blanks.
So I'm going to succeed if I redraw, which I might as well do.
As long as you don't redraw a blank.
I wonder if I should draw or roll. I guess I should draw.
I think the draw odds are better.
Yeah,
just pull a 1.
Should have rolled.
Oh, no.
All right, so we fail.
Okay, I guess we fail.
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know if that's picking up on the mic, but there are fireworks or something outside.
Yeah. Remember that when you fail, as you did with your Avi, you get the token back and 1 additional token.
Even in the story? I didn't think about that.
Is that only in the story, or is that...
I only remember us ever doing that in combat, but...
you might be right.
You
might be wrong.
I'm going to hit the pause button. We'll look it up. Okay. It's called the determination rule. How hard can it be to find in the index?
That's right.
All right. Okay, we paused for a second and learned 3 things. The determination rule does not apply in the story.
Right.
We also learned, I didn't realize that we can spend any combat token to reset the might dex during the story.
Right. But not during combat.
And we also learned that the reason you may be hearing fireworks pick up on the audio of this video is that as we were recording this, the Dodgers won the World Series. So, Go Dodgers! Go sports!
Go blue.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess go blue is a Dodgers thing, right? I was going to say both teams are blue. But
that's true, but it is a Dodgers thing, right?
I think so.
The
biggest Dodgers fan in the world,
right? Are they blue?
They're definitely blue.
Oh, okay.
I think they're maybe more of a navy blue, and the Dodgers are more of a royal blue. But again, world's biggest baseball fan here, telling you all about baseball.
the color theory of these baseball teams. Okay,
so we failed
check.
Our spot check.
A smell of sulfur and decay as Samil carries on smiling. You blink and he is gone. You cast your eyes into the crowd, but your attention is immediately drawn away by the frantic face of a priest running toward you. The crowd is becoming more enthralled by the chorus of doomsayers. Several voices soon lend their strength, repeating absurd prophecies. Oathsworn, a priest clad in simple robes, rushes to your side, frantically trying to gain your attention. You are Oathsworn, yes? Please, come with me. The priest looks surprised when you don't move. Please! The priest pleads with you in a whispered growl, trying to avoid
Oathsworn doesn't mean we're gonna
from others in the crowd.
Go with anyone who says come with me.
The priest says, however, the fate of the city is at stake. As you know, the plague has ravaged the cobbles, and it has been quarantined. A short time ago, someone broke the quarantine and ran into the city. If we do not track him down immediately, the whole city could be infected within hours. Please, I beg of you. 2 paths lay before you. You may track down this plague bearer to help protect the city, or you can make your audience with the king. You will not have time to do both.
Lady Alana will be pretty pissed if we don't take her to the king.
Yeah. And also, like, how long are we going to be in Verone? You know?
On the other hand, is there any value in getting Lady Alana her shit back if then the city is destroyed?
Interesting.
Why were we seeing the king again?
He sent us a bear.
Oh, it's just a scroll with no particular explanation.
Just come see me, and then Lady Alana.
So the reason kind of became the only reason we have became Lady Alana wanting to tag along.
Well,
we don't actually know why.
We could also be in trouble if we don't go. I mean, in theory, right? Who knows?
We're Oathsworn though.
Yeah, we are
Oathsworn. What can they do to us?
And main characters. I don't know. I feel like we should go. Well, I don't know.
Man, main character. You say we have plot armor. How bad can it be?
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna catch this disease. Like.
What? So here's the thing. But we did fight that damn fly, hoping to stop the disease. So I'm sort of invested. The sunk cost fallacy tells me we should go.
That's interesting.
Toward the disease.
I was feeling like only because we have this Lady Alana card, I'm curious to see where that plot goes.
Right. I guess if we didn't have her, and hell if I remember how we got her, but
she was one of the people we saved in the caravan.
Oh, did we save her from the satyr or something like that?
Satyr, and okay. Brought her with us to Verone. So she's kind of like a star-crossed acquaintance of ours.
Honestly, this priest is probably just batshit crazy.
There you go.
There's no disease. Let's go see the king.
We can't trust him anymore.
No.
Can you believe it? He's clad in simple robes. I mean, who would trust a man clad in simple
robes? Yeah, the priests of Rome wear ornate robes.
That's right.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that. Okay, here we go. You deny the priest's request, and fear crosses his face as he rushes on to find another who will help him. Now is not the time for heroics. You do not underestimate how dangerous a king's ire could be, nor do you want to keep him waiting.
See, the narrator gets it.
Take the Path A card. So this is what they expected us to do. Place token 28. Is that what they mean?
Path A is the default?
I don't know. I mean, A comes before B. That's my only thought on that.
That's valid. Yeah.
Here we are at the palace.
Okay.
And you're up.
Oh, there's art. Is it a
That's a very
boy king? Is it a Joffrey style?
It looks like Joffrey, yeah.
Huh. Wow. I feel like the having to scroll this really vertical piece of art on the iPad doesn't quite do it justice.
No.
What are you gonna do? All right. You see the imposing sight of Verone Palace long before you reach its gates. Its vaulted towers reach high into the sky. Its walls bulge with great fortification. Upon entering the palace proper, you are ushered through echoing halls and stone corridors until you finally pass through the great carved doors of the throne room. The throne room itself is immense. Dazzling stained glass covers the rear wall, diffusing the room in a spectrum of color. Nobles mill in loose organization around the columns, hundreds of them. Still, they make no impression of filling the grand space. Your eyes travel up the broad, red woven carpet to the throne that sits under the stained glass. King Fabian is young. You would guess not much older than Midge. His hair is bright, as are his eyes under a simple crown. Simple robe, simple crown. Simple city, this Verone, I guess.
Although grander than Bastogne.
Yeah, that's true. He sits straight backed and forward. It is clear he is observing the discussions and positions of every noble and counselor in the room. Guards at attention line the walls, and at the back of the room, standing alone, are 2 unmoving watchers, capital W watchers, cloaked in midnight black. An advisor notes your entrance as if they had been waiting for you, and as if they had been waiting for you, a chime rings out. The nobles turn to the throne, and a loud voice calls out across the crowd, "Lord Brewer, the crown will hear your petition for judgment." A middle-aged man steps from the crowd and bows. "Highness, I seek justice. Lord Tavender has committed a wrong that must be righted. He has taken the hand of my daughter, Marcana, and a large holding as dowry. No small price, I assure you. He insults my house and myself by refusing to consummate the marriage by the third night as is law." It's too late to go to Path B.
Oh, man.
I mean, think the disease would be more pleasant than this. Nobles squabbling about their daughters consummating their marriages.
Yeah.
All right. The noble indicates his daughter, standing behind him in the crowd. She is perhaps 19, her sullen face downcast as she stands dutifully next to her new husband. A simply dressed man, everyone is simply dressed in this place, in his 50s, tall and thin with signs of his age creeping into his features.
Ooh.
Indeed, Lord Brewer, the advisor replies. Accusations of this nature are taken most seriously by the throne. Has the woman been tested? We can attest to her maidenhood. She has not been touched by a man. It says an older woman from the group of midwives. That was the old man voice. Anyway. Lord Tavender, what is your response to the accusations laid against you? The advisor says. Tavender bows and steps meekly forward. Highness, my intentions toward Lady Marcana are nothing but honorable. She has security in my home, and I love her as my own blood. I have known her since she was a girl. We are happy, but I cannot bring myself to the deed. The king's advisor takes a breath to continue when the king raises his hand to stop him. He turns to you. Free company, he announces, his voice confident and firm beyond what his years would suggest. You step to the carpet before the king and kneel. Tell me how you would judge this. Oh, no. You are my weapons, and I would see just how sharp you are. Show me your keen edge in this. Our choice here is comply with the king's request or humbly imply you are not worthy. So it's not yet us taking a side or making a verdict here. It's just do we comply. Are we getting into this reality drama?
Yeah, I would say that we wouldn't get into it. Also, it seems weird to even ask us. And also, this is like a boy.
Well, why would the king be any more desire to adjudicate this than we do?
Yeah, well,
he's trying to pass the buck.
They're his people. Yeah, exactly.
So we're gonna imply we're not worthy. Humbly imply we're not worthy. All Oathsworn gain a redraw token.
Oh, that's good.
About to say you have no authority in these matters, the king sharply raises a hand to interrupt you. I give authority and take it away. Let me see if you are worthy of that which has been given to you already. The eyes of all the gathered nobles settle curiously on you. You ask the advisor to review the accusations. The Lord Tavender has married Lord Marcana, daughter of Lord Brewer. Lord Brewer has proven the marriage has not been consummated.
They have some exhibits.
Yeah.
They're this drawn in chalk.
Stipulated at this point.
Yeah,
Exactly. Before we got
here.
It's like, okay.
It's stipulated, right.
So we can all agree.
There are no motions in limine. All right.
Against the law of the land, which clearly states that such a dishonor must be satisfied. Attempts to discover this is instruction text now. Attempts to discover the truth. Carefully listen for clues among the testimonies and piece together a judgment for the king. Is this the meat of our story?
This cannot be the meat of the story. Also, I read this and I thought it said attempt to discover the truth carefully. And I was like, that just seems really gross. Like, why would it?
Attempt to discover the truth, period. Carefully listen for clues among the testimonies and piece together a judgment for the king.
Here we go. I'm pretty sure, by the way, before we start on this, he's like wants to protect her from her father, but he's like a friend. He's like known her since she was young. He doesn't actually want to like have sex with this woman who's 30 years younger than him. That's my guess.
That's reasonable. I thought he might be gay.
Or he might be gay. He might be gay too. That's also very possible.
We can choose one of 4 options. Question Lord Tavender, question Lord Brewer, question Lady Marcana Tavender, or if you think you haven't gathered enough information, present your judgment to the king.
I bet each of these are going to take time.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
That's funny. Although, well, the one, and this is maybe not important enough to say, but I'm going to say anyway. Yeah. The one thing that makes me think we're not going to burn a lot of time in here is that there's a city event on the track. Yeah. And for us to be like mid-dialogue with this maiden, and all of a sudden it's like, a bar fight breaks out.
Okay.
You get challenged for an arm wrestling.
Right. You could be
that would be a little silly.
But it could be like the 3 time in theory, and then...
Could be. It could be that it's just carefully designed so that it's not possible to at the event while you're here. That is very true. Okay, so Lord Tavender is the husband.
Right.
Lord Brewer is the father.
Right. I don't think the father would know anything useful. Like, what would he know?
He seems to think he knows a lot.
Well, yeah.
So let's start at the top. Lord Tavender?
Sure.
Part of me wants to just talk to the lady first.
I don't think she's going to say anything useful because she's going to be too loyal to like the 2 sides.
I mean, it said to piece together clues. I've got to think there's going to be an important thing in each of these.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, I'm fine to start with the lady then. That's fine.
Oh, I just hit Lord Tavender. Okay. So here we are. You question the simply dressed lord, asking of the situation surrounding his marriage to the much younger woman. For generations, my family has been honored by possessing writ to work a 1/7 part of the underways here in the city. I did not wish marriage, but during the last few years, things have become difficult. Carts have frequently gone missing, and my work gangs attacked as they descend to the tunnels. We thought it beasts, but the apothecaries assured us they had been attacked by man-made weapons. The workers spoke of the quote-unquote remnant, and the old gang lords rising up again. I was desperate, and then Lord Brewer came with an offer of guards and fresh carts and dowry for the hand of his daughter. Lord Tavender stifles a chesty cough, as he, oh great, now we're infected, as he looks to Lady Marcana. I knew her from court. She had played in my gardens as a girl, and I knew there was little happiness for her under her father's roof. So I thought it a kindness to bring her under my own. She is well cared for, and she has brought life back into my old halls since my previous wife died 3 winters ago.
Oh, so, well...
Seems like your theory was maybe closer.
Or that was his beard. To say, right?
Only it's funny. Maybe the app enforces this, but it makes sense if you picture it printed in a book. But it says only if you have not done so already. Ask him about his cough is what one button says.
Yeah.
Only if you have not done so already. Ask him about Marcana, or talk to someone else, or have an answer for the king.
Well, let's ask him about his cough. I don't know, whatever you want.
Marcana seems more relevant.
Sure.
I don't know if we get to do both of these.
Yeah.
Instruction, press here. Perform a reasoning check. Is that one we have the buff on?
Yes, it is.
And what exactly do we get out of it? Is it
1 redraw.
like a free redraw? Okay. Who you want to choose a character to do a reasoning check?
Sure.
Difficulty 5.
My bear has 2 redraws, so we'll go for it.
And a third if you include the...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards.
Upgrade. Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4,
okay.
5.
Oh, we're at 5, regardless of the crit. Okay, we're never getting it through this. Oh, what the? You have to stop. This has to stop.
Okay.
All right, we succeeded. I want nothing but good for the girl, Lord Tavender utters, but she is so young, and I cannot bring myself to the deed. I had hoped... Well, that does not matter now. As he explains, his gaze wanders to the crowd, and he looks softly at a woman there.
Oh, no.
Following his gaze, you see a mature woman, not dressed overly fine, yet smiling sadly at the lord. By her dress, perhaps a lower house from the court. She looks away when she realizes she has gained your attention. We can now ask about a cough or talk to someone else. There doesn't seem to be any downside to asking about the cough. Perform a spot check. Difficulty 5. We don't have the bonus on this.
We do not.
I'll do it on Thera, the ranger.
Sure.
You drew 1 blank there?
I drew 1 blank.
Okay. So
and we have
3 in
there.
3 in the discard pile.
So
All right,
4.
fairly even odds here. I'll take... It's a difficulty 5. I guess I'll take 5 cards and hope that one of the 2 remaining blanks is... Jeez, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Blank? No?
All right. 4 cards and a die.
Oh, interesting.
I have spoken.
Okay.
I don't like the odds of one of the blanks being in there with only 2 cards left. All right. Oh, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a crit. Okay, it went all right.
Yep.
You notice black spittle on his handkerchief from his coughing.
Uh-oh.
The Lord sighs. I suppose it would get out eventually. Lung rot. It started a few summers back. Too long in the tunnels. The mushrooms will get me soon enough, no matter what happens here today.
Should we talk to someone else?
I guess so. Because, yeah, now the button is back that lets us ask about Marcana only if we have not done so already. Which we have. Okay, so we'll talk to someone else. The lady?
Sure.
I feel like the asshole father is last on my priority list. Lady Marcana has not moved throughout the proceedings. Hands clasped together, she looks down. As you speak to her, her head shoots up. There is a flash of defiance in her eyes. Then she assents to speak. My husband and I are happy together. Can that not be enough? I was never to marry for love. Will you take happiness from me as well? My husband is an honorable man. You sense a well of anger behind her words, not aimed at you, but at her father. You believe you may glean more by fanning that flame. The only thing we can do is press her to reveal more or talk to someone else.
Press away.
Perform a reasoning check, difficulty 6. I do think reasoning is on our upgrade list. Okay.
Yes. But we know, I mean, there are 2 cards in here.
I think there's 2 blanks in those 3.
There's 3.
So we could do the thing we just learned about, which is spend a token to reset the deck.
Yeah, we can also know what these are. Like, this is knowable.
That's true. You want to just peek at them? Sure.
Yeah. It's 2 blanks.
Blank, 1. Yeah.
So, and we'll shuffle that so we don't know the order of it. We can reset the deck. Alternatively, we can just roll some dice.
It's up to you. I did the last check.
Yeah, I don't want to spend a token just to reset the deck when I could just roll some dice. I know that makes no sense.
No, because then we're still stuck with a shitty deck.
Yeah, but maybe on like a check we don't care about, we can waste that.
How many checks that we don't care about are there in the story chapters?
Yeah, okay.
I can spend a token.
Or yeah, I feel like this is the token I would
on
spend.
this.
The
battle flow token.
Like
I think it is the least good token.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so you want to reset the deck then?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Seeing what you would have rolled.
Just checking my. Yeah. I would have gotten it.
We can reset for that token. We can reset any number of my decks if you want to shuffle the yellows.
Sure.
Just so you're not left out. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wish we followed the plague guy, the priest. Yeah.
I didn't know we'd be playing Judge Judy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not the best.
Oh man. I have like eventual plans to play this with an off-camera game group, and like I want to kind of like play vicariously. Usually when I've played a game before, I want to kind of enjoy letting people who are blind to it know or make the decisions.
Make their own choices.
But I'm going to be tempted to put my thumb on the scale and things like that because I want to see the other side of it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
totally,
I don't know how I'll handle that.
I'm actually wondering now that I think about it, because this says flip time track to side B. I'm wondering if we're going to go through all this like case solving stuff and then
end up on
now
these.
You need to go.
You think we're just in a bonus round here?
I'm wondering if this is just a bonus round.
Could be.
We'll see.
Speaking of which, take your difficulty 6 reasoning check, but you have a free redraw.
I'll draw 5 cards.
Okay. 2, 0, 4, 5, 6.
That'll do.
That will do. Okay, and that was a good draw. So our deck's a little bad.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind.
But that's okay.
All right. Marcana's hands ball into tight fists. I pleaded with him to not give me away, but he had to have his way. My father cares more about those tunnels than me, and against all hope, my husband turned out to be a good man. Now that I have some semblance of happiness, he would take that too by having an old man mount his daughter. A spectacle. I've just never read that in a board game.
Nope. Yeah.
Never really thought I'd read the phrase, an old man mount his daughter.
To have an old man mount his daughter, yeah.
Board game.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
There you go.
A spectacle for all of room to see.
Yeah.
And wait, what exactly are the laws around this?
Yeah, well, I mean, they know that it hasn't happened yet, so it must have to happen publicly. Or it's the Game of Thrones, where they they carry them to bed, the bedding.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hope it's just that.
yeah, sure.
A spectacle for all of room to see, and for what? For more iron, more profit? Brewer shoots her a look so dark the girl stops in her tracks, realizing what she said. Her hands go to her mouth, anger on her father's face.
I don't get it. Why would there be more money or profit in her having a...
That seems to be the step of the mystery. Well, we don't even know about a child, but if her...
Or sex.
Well, okay, here's what I'm putting together. He is sick and going to die soon. The father wants her to basically inherit what's his.
I see.
That
makes sense, but wouldn't she anyway?
Well, not if the marriage is like annulled or something.
Oh. But if he's not trying to annul, well, I guess, maybe some other competing heir would try and annul it because they never...
Yeah, or one of the other, like they own 1/7 of the rights to the tunnels, like maybe one of the other tunnel owners come... I'm not
What's
sure.
the estate
I'm not
law
sure that there's that
Oathsworn?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, so...
talk to someone else. We might as well question Lord Brewer, right?
Yeah.
Even though I think we're on to something.
Yeah.
You approach the accuser, Lord Brewer. He stands straight-backed, making clear he feels the imposition of being questioned by lowly soldiers. If it will help matters along, I shall tell you. I am lord of over 1/7 of the underways, putting food on the plates... Wait, did they both tell us that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they're both 1/7
okay.
lords.
Putting food on the... Sounds like it. Putting food on the plates of many of the nobles in these halls, says Lord Brewer, speaking to the crowd more than you. A large sum was paid in dowry for my only daughter to my Lord Tavender, spits Brewer. It appears he believes he can squander it, annul the marriage, and marry again to take another's iron. I guess that's the risk. You don't consummate the marriage, you cancel it and keep the dowry in this... Is that a... I don't know if that is...
It sounds like he's trying...
Again, you're the lawyer here.
It sounds like he's saying that he wouldn't get the dowry back, but it's hard to say.
You know this man, his type. A bully. This is the narrator speaking. The narrator speaking sides here. Yeah. This guy's a bully. All right. Yeah. Sensing something, you step a little closer to Lord Brewer. He backs away instinctively. You thought as much. It is usually the loudest you have to fear the least. Their nose merely covering their own fear. Their noise, sorry, merely covering their own fear. You may be able to use your presence to press him to reveal more. Shall we press him for more information?
Why not?
Perform a threatening check. Difficulty 5, 4 if you have an Ursus with you.
Which we do, and we also have, we're also...
Okay, well, I'll take this one.
Okay.
I'll jump in and take the easy one.
Sure. No. Even though I have the Ursus, that's fair enough.
Oh, I mean, I assumed that the party gets it now.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You're with me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, all right. I'll take it with the Harbinger. Maybe I'll even get it. No, there's no reason that this would heal me, but still. I don't like the deck right now, but I guess we can let it get a little worse. It's only 4, and we have a free redraw for threatening. Redraw, yeah. Should I just do 3?
I think so.
All right. Blank. 1, 2. Okay. Free redraw on the blank. It's a 2 crit. Okay.
There you go.
7. Beautiful. What are you doing? I'm not the one on trial here, he spits. Tavender squandered his writ, and now others make this city grow. I was trying to help him, and look what he does in return. Did I not help him when I heard he was sick? He shames me not binding that marriage until he censors himself, taking care not to go on. Then we can only talk to someone else or present our judgment to the king, so I guess it's time to make a call.
Yeah.
You bow to the king, implying your readiness. The king claps his hands abruptly once for silence. He stares at you from the throne. So, free company, what say you? Where is the right in this matter? Wow. Choose one of these 7 choices.
Oh, wow.
Suggest Tavender be arrested. Suggest Marcana be arrested. Suggest Brewer be arrested.
Sure.
Suggest the king annul the marriage, returning Marcana to her father and forcing Tavender to return the dowry. Suggest the king annul the marriage, returning Marcana to her father, but Tavender can keep the dowry. Suggest the marriage is upheld even without consummation, with the dowry remaining in place. Or suggest the marriage is upheld but must be consummated with the dowry remaining in place. I mean, so we think we've pieced together that Brewer is a greedy asshole.
Yeah.
Who sold his daughter down the river for 1/7 of a tunnel.
We think well, it's weird because he had to pay to sell his daughter. He had to pay the dowry. So it's not clear what he thinks he's going to get out of it or exactly how that's going to work, but it's clear that it's a ploy for greed.
Yeah, and it was her who, I'm not sure we learned anything useful from him.
No, he said that something there.
Well, we did learn that he's an owner of the tunnel too.
Right.
But we learned from Tavender that he's sick, and we learned from what's her name? Marcana. That
her dad's greedy.
Yeah, right.
Right. And from him, he said something that implied that he was greedy as well. In any event, I'm fine to suggest that the king support the marriage without consummation, the dowry remaining in place. Because
I think that or one of the annulments, and I don't know which one.
But yeah, I mean, both of the annulments have Marcana going back to her father, where clearly she does not wish to go. So
valid.
I'm thinking we should just let her stay with Tavender, because that's what she wants.
But we're setting a dangerous precedent.
Are we?
By not consummating this marriage.
I don't know.
It might not be the disease. It might be this new.
Yeah, that's true.
This new legal precedent that brings the
crumble.
city to its knees.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Okay.
Okay.
Uphold marriage without consummation. Dowry remaining in place.
Yeah, sure.
Instruction. All Oathsworn gain a redraw token.
Okay.
Check the extra unique item box for Chapter 6 on your free company sheet. I don't think I brought a pen to the table for some reason, but we owe ourselves an extra unique item.
Okay.
The king raises an eyebrow. Lenient. Compassionate. These are good traits, for although you are weapons, you must not forget why you fight. However... Alright.
Oh no!
I know we've been trading off each location, but I am tired of reading. This is a giant page of text.
The young king turns to face the two lords. There is more here than meets the eye. Lord Brewer, you seek a union with a declining house. Why? Why, neighborliness, sire, Brewer says with a broad smile. Ah, of course, neighbors you are, in the underways. The labyrinths are confusing. It must be difficult to know what is yours and what is another's down there. In my underways, reminds the king. Brewer's smile fades as he gently wipes his temples as the young king continues. Can you say as twice in a sentence like that? Okay. You know the story of my father's victory over the underway gang lords, do you not, Lord Brewer? 15,000 good men died to rid the city of that filth. He never got them all, though. Some disappeared deeper into the tunnels. Others, some say, came above ground like rats to feed off the city. Yours is a young house, is it not? Yet gaining such wealth so quickly makes it easy to overstep your bounds. You look uncomfortable, my lord. Tell me, will you freely submit to a search of your tunnels and caves? Certainly, sire, Brewer retorts. Of course, I shall send word to prepare for your inspectors.
Of course.
He bows and walks backward, but the king nods and the two guards step to block his retreat. That won't be necessary. They were there this morning. Brewer's face goes white. And returned with word of a cave filled with carts formerly belonging to Lord Tavender. Tavender stares firmly at Brewer, whose eyes go wide as he sweats before the king. Before he can speak, the king silences him with a raised hand. You are the son of Ganglord Torvar. Yes, I know, he says as Brewer looks down. If you knew of Tavender's illness, through union, you would control 2/7 parts of the underway when the poor man passes. You would have controlled our supply lines and seen the gang lords returned to the depths. This I will not allow. His tone dead serious. May I finish what my father started? Lord Inquisitor, at the king's gesture, an aged man with a hooked nose, his belt jangling with keys and cruel-looking instruments, steps forward from the shadows. Find out what he knows of the remnant in the underways. I have a regiment of guards who need testing. The Inquisitor nods as guards grab Brewer and drag him screaming from the hall. A palpable fear descends on the nobility. Lord Tavender, the king says, by the law of the land I decree your marriage annulled. However, the dowry given to you, being of your own property, is yours. Lady Marcana, your father will be executed for treason and your house dissolved. I see one course of action for you, Lord Tavender. I understand you have no children. The Lord nods. Will you take this woman into your home as your daughter? I will, sire, pronounces Lord Tavender. So be it, declares the king. Lady Marcana smiles at Lord Tavender.
Joffrey, he ain't. He's a reasonable king.
Yeah, I like him. You look up at the young king on the throne, his regal bearing and countenance belying his years. He has had more than one victory here today. Fear and respect are a powerful combination for a ruler to wield. And then it says, if you allowed Alana to come with you to court, which we did.
Yep. She just bursts forward and...
In the crowd, you spot Alana, arms linked with a distinguished-looking nobleman. They are pointing to the vaulted ceiling, seemingly talking about the architecture of the great hall, as chatter about the trial begins among the rest of the nobles. Her goal of making connections is apparently going well. The king calls for the hall to be cleared, but bids you stay. The court empties, and once the king is satisfied that only you and the small council remain, he leans forward. Now, to other matters. There is a plague ravaging the city. More than lung rot, it seems. High Captain Trent, would you present your findings? A grim-faced Trent steps forward and reports on the casualties and the spread, detailing piles of bodies being found in alleyways, the symptoms, and the many losses. He says, it is in the cobbles at the moment, striking old and young, strong and weak alike. To those it touches, it is a death sentence. The king nods. Your recommendation? The High Captain tugs at his elaborate chainmail tunic. Your Highness, I see no way to contain it. We do not know how it spreads, and to learn these things could take months and many more lives. I suggest the whole of the cobbles be eradicated by flame. Burn the blocks to the ground and the plague along with it. Wait for the spring and rebuild. A man wearing ornate robes, only allocated to the chief apothecary.
Not simple this time.
I know, the first non-simply dressed person.
The apothecary gets the ornate robes.
The chief apothecary.
Right.
With due respect to the high captain, that is madness, sire. May I speak freely? The king nods. I do not have my advisors do anything else. Heal them, sire, the apothecary pleads. Not burn them. My people will continue to search for a cure, but the captain speaks the truth. It is spreading too quickly and getting worse. It pains me to say this, but we need help. The mendicants of Cistercia are renowned for their knowledge of disease. Send for them and find a cure. With that, a man with an oddly patterned golden robe steps forward. Lord of Coin, the king acknowledges, gesturing for the man to speak. A burning would be a massive drain on the royal coffers, sire. Replacing an entire section, just in stone and wood alone, would be a terrible cost. While we see no path to heal them at this time, cordon the cobbles off, no entry or exit. Let the plague take its toll and reap their lives, but leave the buildings standing 1 year. Then repopulate. The king turns to a tall, thin man in pure white robes and an elaborate mitre hat. Archbishop? My lord. I don't know if they can hear this. It says his voice is barely above a whisper. My lord, God's trials come in many forms. This isn't worth it. What kills the body may save the soul, and in the heat of the crucible we are remade. The pillar and the path. If the pillar cannot stand, it is not fit, but if it can be restored, it will be stronger for the trial. Strength may come from this weakness. Let us simply wait, my lord, and see. These are all wise words, says the king, and yet all differ. Free company. What counsel would you give? And so we can choose to endorse the High Marshal and burn the cobbles, endorse the Chief Apothecary to find a cure, endorse the Lord of Coin for a quarantine, or endorse the Archbishop to wait.
So
this is the biggest choice we've ever made.
I realized I no longer like the king.
Oh, really?
As you were reading that, because it dawned on me, like, wait a minute, the king knew all this shit. He was just testing us. He was just fucking with us, right? Like, I think that the answer that we gave in the Judge Judy case, he was going to override it no matter what.
I agree with that, but I think he wanted to see how wise we were to see if he could count on our counsel for other matters. And I don't mind that. I think
that's an asshole move.
I think that's like a common, I don't know.
He dragged he dragged the girl through that, like, public testimony and everything when he already knew the judgment. And
well, yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't know. Open court and all.
Anyway, so it's either
he also had to have all that stuff come out because he had to explain the truth to the nobles. Otherwise, they would say, "Why are you jailing this man who's a 1/7 owner of the underworld?" Right. Anyway,
so burning the cobbles or killing all the people who live there are two of the options.
No, that's one of the options. Burning the cobbles.
No, isn't quarantine. Oh, I thought, but didn't it? No, it said
he expects them to die, but the only thing we would do is create a quarantine.
I thought it said, let's see, coordinate. Let the plague take its toll. Oh, I heard reap their lives, and I thought that was go through and kill them all.
Oh no. I think,
okay, yeah. But I see. As I'm looking at it, you're right. So
burn the cobbles, find a cure, quarantine, or wait.
And the apothecary wanted to find the cure, but had
the apothecary said that we should call for the mendicants of Cistercia, which is another city, I assume, that is good at solving diseases.
Is that going to get us sent there?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like wherever we're going regardless.
Yeah, I can't imagine that the game has such branching paths that you end up in different cities when you're not specifically scripted to. Damn, I don't know. I don't feel like just doing nothing is...
Yeah, that was a weird option. I don't like that one either. I mean, weirdly, probably you would want to pursue the find a cure and then also the quarantine. Right? Wouldn't you want to be doing both of those things?
Yeah, why are they mutually exclusive? I mean, we did bring in, the budget manager for the tires. I guess you can't afford both.
Well, no, he said he can't afford the burning. But, the cure, presumably you just gotta hire some, how expensive can that be? It's like $1.
I don't know, you gotta hire people to go pick herbs or whatever in the forest where 10% of them come back.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. But clearly they're mutually exclusive.
Yeah, clearly.
So I think the cure is the obvious like hero choice, but I kind of these days I try not to just like go the full, Mass Effect Paragon path when I play games. Like I try to be a little bit more I try to bring a little bit more variety into just being a goody two shoes every step of the way. So I wonder if quarantine
Here's the thing,
is maybe a good medium.
It is I think portrayed as a medium. But actually, I mean the person who suggested the Lord of Coin, his motivation is we don't have the money to pay to rebuild the city.
That's true.
The quarantine is an interesting question because if it's not effective at keeping people out, disease could continue to spread. Right?
Right.
Like people might not wear their masks.
Or if it's spreading via, an animal biting people. Something that could
through the underway, perhaps. Like,
right.
It's probably hard to quarantine the underway.
Yeah. Well, there's a seventh of it that we can just block off now.
It's true.
What do you think?
I'm torn between the cure and the quarantine. I don't know how effective either of those things will be. The burning thing seems highly effective, but at a high cost. Although we also don't know the fatality rate of this disease. So,
how is it for the greater good though?
I don't know.
Is that the only?
It's hard to justify.
Is that the only one where 1,000 people die instead of 50,000, or however many are in this city?
Yeah. Well, it's got to be bigger than that because I think the cobbles is like a big area, right?
I don't know.
I guess this is the cobbles. It's actually not that big.
I'm not sure that the population count is actually germane to the decision here, but
yeah, you're right. I don't know. What do you want to do? I'm really torn. I'm very torn. This is the hardest choice we had to make in this game, I think.
Do you think that the king knows what he's going to do and just is testing us again?
No, I don't think so.
So you think this is you think that the thing we choose will actually happen here?
I kind of think so, yeah.
I don't like that.
Maybe not. Yeah, I know. I don't want to be responsible. Can't we humbly say that we're not good enough to make this decision? Yeah. All right. I think. I mean, the captain says he sees no way to contain it. So he's presumably considered a quarantine, and he thinks it would be ineffective. The Lord of Coin says we can't afford to rebuild, so the fire is not an option. So neither of them is really speaking about the effectiveness on the disease. They're both speaking about other practicalities. And then
how important is it to rebuild them? The people that are dead. Who needs them?
Well, yeah, I mean, they have to at least rebuild the wall, right?
Sure, yeah. Presumably we're not talking about burning down the wall. Otherwise, that seems worse than the disease.
Yeah, it's just right next to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Are we just doing the cure? Is that just the only workable solution here? Everything else seems like a terrible call.
Yeah, I mean, the cure seems like it's unlikely to succeed, but it's the morally correct choice.
And it just, you're right to point out those issues with the others, like, the budget can't manage the fire.
Right.
And quarantine is going to be about as effective as the COVID quarantine was, so... All right, let's do the boring, heroic thing.
All Oathsworn gain and empower.
It's so funny to me when we make some impactful, agonizing choice, and then the first thing it says is like, tokens all around! You did it!
Yeah, it is funny. I agree. There is danger in that path, especially for you. Hopeful.
Yeah, that's
but perhaps foolhardy. What if there is no cure, or the mendicants do not have the craft to find it? What would happen to the city then? Hope is often a treacherous ally. The Watcher glides forward and whispers in the king's ear before he can make any proclamation agreeing or disagreeing with your decision. He listens. The king nods, resigned. Your counsel has been weighed by the throne, the king declares. Free company, be my voice. Travel to Sestercia.
I told you.
Take my seal, and under my authority return with what mendicants are released to your charge. High Captain, open the armory doors to this company that they might steel themselves for the journey. Archbishop, set a vigil for them. They carry our hopes into the Deepwood. The king gives his leave and you bow, wondering at the irony of the term free company in times like this. I hear you are called the heroes of Bastogne. The king calls as you go to leave. I hope you will be known as the heroes of Varoom as well. Reveal all cards from the Chapter 6 common item deck. Each Oathsworn gains any one item from it.
Wow.
Place location token 3 and go there.
Okay, well, we have a lot of items. I'm just going to sort them into weapon, gear, and armor piles.
Yeah.
And then...
I'm really curious if we had picked something else, if we wouldn't be leaving the city.
Part of...
Because there's so much time left on this time track. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I also wonder if the preacher would have sent us on this track. If he would have been like, you need to go to Cistercia to like find the... Maybe we've rejoined.
I don't know, we're still on path A.
Yeah, but maybe that'll change. Who knows, yeah. Alright.
Okay.
Some cool items here.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to like glance and see whether there's better dice than we have on... Oh, like I see a triple yellow item here, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about this evergreen staff. It can be used by the Harbinger. It's a two-handed staff, and it says when you use an ability with the range keyword, add 2 range to the ability. I think that's
there are also
something
these red and yellow claymores, which I'm not sure what you can take.
I don't think that goes with either of mine.
Okay.
Where is my weapon? I have a walking stick. It has the same ability. This evergreen staff is just strictly better.
Yeah.
Better dice, everything else identical. So that seems like a no-brainer. I will take that for the Harbinger. And then I guess let me do the same and compare, because I saw that there were like some longbows in that pile. Let me compare. Oh, but I have a unique item, the Gnarled Tom.
Look, the Book of Monsters that Hagrid assigns.
Oh yeah, how about that?
At the start of the encounter setup, reveal the special rules board. We've been pretty good about getting.
Oh yeah, we don't have it yet this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, actually, nothing. No, the story has not yet even hinted at what the upcoming encounter will be.
No. But I know.
Presumably, it'll just be whatever we run into in the woods on the way there. It might just be like the last paragraph of the whole story is like you hear stomping. End of chapter.
Yeah. Spoilers, but I think it might be rustling.
Rustling, interesting. Yeah. He's been looking at all the boxes early. That cheater.
I know. How dare
I? Okay, the longbow.
I think this is good for the priest because it says before damage is drawn against you, if you have less than 4 health, gain a shield. And that seems useful because the priest is spending his health to heal others. So I think that might be a good item for him.
I don't like the longbow better than the Gnarled Tom the ranger is using, but I might be better than... Because the other question is like, what's in our bag? Do we have backup bows? The reflex bow... Oh, it's the same thing, but with a red instead of 2 yellow. Those are fairly equivalent.
Are they? I'm trying to figure that out. Because I have an option to take an axe here that has 3 yellow dice, and I have 1 black.
If you consider the way Empower works, they are equivalent, right? Like, because you can get 3 yellows or a red and a yellow with an Empower token.
Yeah.
But whether there's actually like a mathematically better choice between those two, I haven't sat down and figured out.
Right. 3 yellows and a black are also equivalent because it's like.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take this because eventually you have to lose an item, so I'm just preparing for that.
Okay, so none of us took any of the gear yet, right? Oh, no. You took the
priest took this for a traveling coat.
Lucky Charm, gain 1 redraw for an attack or a basic check.
Not bad for a
That's
basic
not
check.
bad. The Book of Monsters, Journeyman's Belt. If you've moved at least 3 hexes this turn, battle flow a card once with this. That does
seem good.
Pretty good. The Ranger does... Okay, I think I like the Journeyman Belt.
Cool.
It goes in Battle Flow 1. You can use it a few times for battle. All right, I think I'm just throwing it in the in our backpack for now.
Sure. All right, so we're gonna put all these back.
Oh, and the walking stick goes in the backpack too. We'll check that item limit later, but I don't think we're at 20.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can set these back aside. Okay.
All right, and so we've gone to location 3, which is the King's Gate, and I will pass this over to you.
Okay. I wish I knew how much was left.
Me too.
Because we're over an hour, and I'm tempted to divide this into 2 videos at the rate it's going.
Yeah.
And I have no idea whether the result would be that we have a 3-minute video on the other side. So I guess we press on.
Well, If you divide it into 2 videos, would we film it at a separate time?
No, we probably still do it now.
So
yeah.
You can just divide it in the middle at the end.
Oh, like record an outro later and put it. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, yeah. Because if it goes like 2.5 hours, yeah, no one watches 2.5 hour videos. I'd rather divide it in half. The King's Gate. Weapons oiled and armor adjusted, you stand before the great city gates. Bram rummages through your packs, performing one last check on your rations. You would pack them yourself, but you have learned allowing others to do some things for you allows them to feel a part of what you do. Oh, we're for Bram's sake.
We never got the follow up on Lady Alana. What happened with her? She was ingratiating herself with the Lord.
And it didn't tell us to like put her card back or anything, right? Like she's still with us. Just
I think so. Yeah.
She just got some networking in.
Yeah.
She's like her LinkedIn is popping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grey Cane approaches with a smile on his face. Long road ahead. Thought you might like some company. I found a few hired swords you might want to consider taking with you. They aren't cheap, but you get what you pay for in these matters. Speaking of which, we never had the opportunity to go to the banksmith or anything. This one so far.
So far, yeah.
Brevik recently lost his family to the plague and needs to work out a few things on the wire. Yanni is a trapper and a damn good one too. Doubtless keep you better fed than Bram, he says with a smiling glance at the barkeep. Bram starts to come back, huffs, and gives up, busying himself with your packs. You may gain Brevik and or Yanni as allies for 10 iron each. If you hire Brevik, gain the ally card 17, add Deepwood event card 30 to your Deepwood event deck, and city card 27 to your city event deck. If you hire Yanni, similarly, there would be a Deepwood event and a city card. Well, I was saying before we started filming this that we have more money than we ever have.
Yeah.
Like we got a lot of money last chapter, so like I'm sitting on 17 and 14 on my 2 characters.
I have 13 and I didn't see a reason to get my money out before this. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
13 and 15.
So for 5 iron per character, we can hire them both.
Sure.
And I don't know, see the content. I don't know how valuable these people will actually be, but it doesn't seem like if it's costing us iron, it seems like it must be ultimately a good thing.
So
Okay.
I'll
spend 10 and
then I'll put this 5 over here to divide the cost equally.
Boom. Okay. We are getting ally card 17.
Here, I'll take the events portion of this.
And 18. And then we need Deepwood events 9 and 30. Oh, you're looking at city? We're going to need city event 27 and 28.
Okay, and then 9 and 30.
And Deepwood event 9 and 30. Okay. Allies go back here. All right. Grey Cane, never one for a lack of words, gives you one last piece of advice. Watch yourself out there. There's been word of strange sightings from the guards. Things in the woods, not the usual fare. I think this misspelled fare. Shadows and bumps in the night. Nothing solid, but you and I both know that's the stuff you need to pay attention to. Finally ready, the mighty gates of the city rumble open and the road stretches to the dark maw of the Deepwood. The flag of Room flutters from atop the first stake of the wire road. You set your jaw and start walking. Add city event cards. Get them back out. Add city event cards 7, 8, 9, and 10 to the city event deck. And Deepwood event cards 12, 13, 14, and 15 to the
7,
Deepwood
8,
event.
9, and 10. And then what were the Deepwood? Sorry. 10.
12 through 15.
12 through 15.
So those decks were starting to run low. They now are not.
No.
A lot of cards in those now.
6 more cards in each.
And then we are, that sure sounded like it might just be the end of the chapter right now, but it says place 10 and go there.
Okay.
So we need card 10 on the, or token 10 on the time track, basically.
Yep.
Here you go, the Wire Road.
The sights and sounds of Varum are soon consumed by the path behind you. The distance impossible to tell as each tree merges into the next and a familiar gloom settles over the wire road. You have been here many times in the dark. You begin to relax into the long journey ahead. Perform a spot check, difficulty 5. And spot is, did we say it was or no?
No, it's not. Because that's like a perception check.
Yeah,
We're only good
makes
at
sense.
talking.
Yeah.
Sure, I can do that on Thera. She's got 3 redraws. Difficulty 5.
Yep.
Okay. She has an empower token too, which we learned that you can use in the story, but it's fine. It's fine. Sorry. How's the deck look? Only 2 blanks out of a lot of cards. I don't love that. Maybe I will go for the yellow deck.
Okay.
Why not? All right. Empower token. Let's
3
do
yellows?
3 yellows and does that seem like enough? 3 yellows and white.
Sure.
All right. Blank. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the crit shouldn't matter. Okay, succeeded.
All Oathsworn gain a battle flow token.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right. You snap to attention as you realize your carelessness. You cannot afford to relax into the march. Familiarity will kill you out here. Keeping your eyes on the trees and a hand on the wire, you press on. You are not far from Varum when a pregnant silence falls over the company. Suddenly, all you can hear is the sound of boots on mud and hands running along the wire. Silence is never good. You draw weapons. There is something out there. You catch a glint from predatory eyes fixed on you. The eyes are moving fast, coming right at you. Horrific 2-legged things bound through the shadows, almost silent as they come. 7 feet tall with whip-like arms, their bodies ruined and twisted by God only knows. They fall on the group. They are so swift, you have no time to shout a warning.
Yikes.
And so this is when we would open up the mystery box or the mystery envelope and proceed to the encounter. You have been ambushed.
Oh, no.
So mark the ambushed box for this chapter on your free company.
Interesting. How could we avoid that? We didn't get to scout it and we got ambushed. That went terribly.
That is weird.
I guess maybe the only route to knowing what we're in for was via Path B.
Or not running off to Sestercia. Maybe we had to propose a quarantine.
Yeah, I've never been so tempted, and I don't like to do. I like my story to be my story and not look at alternate outcomes stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm very tempted to pull out the book after this video and look at see whether that decision mattered or not.
Yeah,
because I have no idea whether that was
my guess. Well, it's interesting because even if we weren't going to Sestercia, we could, in theory, still fight these purple-legged things. It didn't say purple, did it?
No, you've just seen the
minis.
Yeah, you've just painted the minis.
Okay, these 7-foot-tall things.
This is the point where we open the box, so
yeah.
it's time. You can now speak details.
Well, so there are 3 of these, and I actually lost one. So I did not paint the other 2 because I was like, "Why?"
Oh, you didn't bother to paint the other 2?
Because I was like, "We're not going to."
I was wondering if we were going to use 2 and a standee.
No,
we'll
I mean, I guess I can quickly paint them up before the next thing because I'll just paint them all purple, and we can do that. Maybe when one dies, we'll bring in the other 2. Although I don't know if one will die. I'm not sure.
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how the encounter's going to work.
But they're weird looking. They're like little. Here, actually, probably the encounter has a picture. Yeah.
Oh, it sure does. Ooh, they're like There you go. They're a little bit like hydralisks, like Zerg hydralisks or something.
Yeah.
But with the long. Oh, it's not a tail though. It's
like
tentacle arms.
Tentacle arms. Yeah.
Oh, weird. I don't like them. I'm not sure I'm supposed to like them.
No, they look like they're drooling blood.
Yeah.
And also they have an exposed
ribs. Yeah.
Which seems like a
sort of exoskeleton-y.
Yeah.
All right. What's the instructions say? Play the battle?
Yeah.
Okay. After the encounter, continue the epilogue. All right.
That's weird. Yeah. That's very interesting. I'm so curious to know. But so we could be fighting them anyway, even if we weren't going to Sestercia.
There could be a. Yeah, that is interesting because there's a world where what could be happening is that we're going out for some MacGuffin and coming back, not going to Sestercia, right? So another reason we're outside the walls. But even then, it feels like each story chapter you are going to be where you're going to be. I don't think there's going to be 2 versions of story chapter 7, one where we're in that city and one where we're still in Varum. So
yeah, I don't know.
That's what makes me so curious about how, if at all, that choice that we agonized over actually mattered.
Yeah, maybe this is one of the places where the game makes the world seem bigger than it actually is. And by investigating, we'll ruin it for ourselves.
Could be, which is why I usually don't like to look.
Yeah.
I'm very tempted to look.
Yeah.
And the whole... The feeling that the decision actually didn't matter is slightly is slightly pushed by the whole, like, we all got a redraw token or whatever when we
Yeah.
made it, right?
Totally.
Like, that also feels like, well, it mattered because we got that token.
Right, instead of a different one, yeah. It does feel very cheap. I don't like that.
I don't like that either. The timing of that, it's
It's like, just give us some tokens at the end of the chapter. Be like, this chapter you earned, and not tell us how.
Right.
These 5 tokens.
Yeah, yeah. And it could be, the story goes to one of a couple places where you get different amounts of tokens at least, or I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. It's a very small nitpick. That does drive me slightly nuts that the very dramatic story moments get interrupted with this, like, and in the app at least it's like a full screen, all caps, splash.
Right. The press instructions and then yeah, totally.
Anyway, well, I'm glad that we didn't try to pause and divide this up because there was like one more paragraph.
Yeah, that's right.
Turns out.
Yeah.
It just felt like, our whole story here couldn't possibly have been playing Judge Judy, and yet it was.
So it feels like next time we're gonna fight these guys, and then the chapter after that, it feels like is gonna be another one of those wilderness exploration chapters.
I wasn't a fan.
On the way to Sestercia is my guess.
That sounds likely.
Then we'll fight someone at the end of that journey. Then we'll be in Sestercia. And then we'll fight a boss at the end of that chapter. And then we'll come back and do another one of those. Right? It's like, we're like...
It seems plausible. I didn't love that exploration thing, so I kind of hope that that's not something that they use very many times. It is definitely going to be used more than once. They wouldn't have done the whole deck of cards stuff for it.
But it feels like... So, like, if that's right, we have, like, a chapter to travel... A chapter there, a chapter to travel back. So we're like 3 to 4 chapters away from the resolution of this.
Yeah, my hope. I agree. It seems very likely Chapter 7 will be Wilderness. I hope that if the story is... Like, maybe we get sidetracked and go somewhere else entirely, but if the story is you go back to Varum, I hope we don't have Wilderness on the way back. That just feels like really drawn out.
We will, though. It feels like we will.
Yeah, and we do have this whole Deepwood event deck that mostly gets used out there, right?
Yeah.
So there's got to be more Wilderness
story.
But
we don't have rations right now, so maybe we're not about to go into the Deepwood.
Oh, it didn't have us, like, put a number of rations in our pack or any of that stuff.
Although maybe that happens at the beginning of the next chapter. Well, we'll find out.
Or yeah, there's the epilogue to this where that could still happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. No.
Before the Civil War starts, we'll get there.
Thanks for that.
Yep.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. Well, on that note, thank you, I think, for watching us.
This may be our last broadcast.
I wish there was not as much truth in that as there is.
Seasteria. Okay.
Okay. Well, this was fun, even though it was. You are in tears over here.
I'm laughing. It's like, oh man. Yesterday, my friend was describing to me this horror movie that he loves. It's his favorite horror movie, and he says it's like the darkest thing he's ever seen. But after you watch it 2 or 3 times, it starts to become funny because it's so over the top dark. And even the director, who like made this very, very dark film, the name of which escapes me, finds it funny, like on repeat viewings, and that felt like such a good metaphor for the world. You know, it's like I'm like laughing because it's so dark. Okay. Anyway.
On that note, hey, if the several minutes we spent talking about it up front didn't move you, seriously, send in that ballot. Call a friend, make sure that they vote. It's super important. We're not terrified.
No.
We're laughing.
We're laughing.
We're laughing.
Tears of joy.
All right, and we'll be back to laugh at these monsters next time. You can catch Jordan. Okay, I almost signed up, but I forgot. You can catch Jordan on the Game Brain podcast, where he also doesn't cry.
Right. We recently started talking about miniatures games, which maybe will appeal to the audience of this channel. So we're talking about Kill Team and Shatterpoint. Me and my friend Matt from the Game Brain podcast. So you can check that out. And we're also covering all the new Essen releases.
Like what?
SETI, Shackleton, Asian Tigers. I think those are the 3 biggest ones.
I've heard of SETI.
Yeah.
Not the other 2.
Well, because there was a big review of SETI that just released.
That's why, I'd heard of it because it was also on the BGG.
Yeah, I think so. Shackleton is slightly lighter than SETI, but Asian Tigers is significantly heavier, so there's probably less coverage of that. That's the next game from the designers of Panamax, if you're a Euro fan. Panamax, Madeira, and Nippon. So
I have no idea what he's talking about, which must mean it's time to just say the thing. So until next time, be optimal.
Sorry, I went on there for a bit.